We are Group Quokka, and our global health problem is lung cancer rates in Montenegro by Kara, Julia, Colin, Tate, and Bruno. Imagine you're a teenager in Podgorica, Montenegro. Your parents are both working class and have jobs within the steelmaking industry. Money is tight, and you do not have many opportunities afforded to you. You see both of your parents smoking, and many of your peers smoke as well. You think you might as well start. You are tangentially aware of lung cancer, but do not know the intricacies of it and what risk you have while growing up in this area.
Lung cancer is caused by smoking or secondhand smoke, and it's very prevalent, so it's hard to avoid. A tumor builds up in the lungs, and cells multiply, causing cancer cells to move through the bloodstream. And it develops in the epithelial cells that line the lungs, and once damaged, the airways cannot perform their main task. Side effects are unable to protect airways, absorbing food and nutrients, and chromosomal alterations.
In Montenegro, the main cause of lung cancer is smoking, given that 30% of all adults smoke daily, and there's an expected increase to 52% in the next 10 years. Even with government efforts, smoking has become such a normal that it has become nearly impossible to lower the rates in Montenegro. While the mortality rate worldwide has decreased by 20%, in Montenegro there hasn't been a decrease due to no access to healthcare and early stage screenings. One of the highest rates of lung cancer in all of Europe is Montenegro, and in 2015, lung cancer was around 5.44% of all deaths worldwide, while being 22.92% of all deaths in Montenegro. Air pollution is another cause, causing around 14% of all lung cancer cases, and more than half of all of these cases are not diagnosed till later stages of lung cancer.
If we look at the total population in Montenegro, then according to that from WHO in 2023, there are 633,552 people living in Montenegro. By looking at the age from 0 to 14 years old, it holds a 70% of piece of the total population. The age from 50 to 64 holds the largest piece of the total population, which is 65%. And lastly, there are 80% of the people who are 65 or older. From here, we can take that Montenegro experiences an aging population trend. In addition to that, the median age in Montenegro is 39.7. To get in more data, there are almost 30% of the adults who are regular smokers. To split up by gender, then we can see that both genders use the tobacco. However, the men hold a larger proportion of these 30% of adults who use the tobacco on a regular daily basis. Finally, the mortality rate from tobacco in Montenegro is extremely high compared to other nations in Europe like Serbia, which is very close to the region where Montenegro is located. Although it is 20%, but at the same time, it is also a very high number for mortality rate.
The Montenegrin economy relies heavily on steelmaking and tourism. The exhaust from these increases the amount of fine particulate matter in the air, which can easily settle in the lungs. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the tourism side collapsed and has not recovered. This led to fewer jobs and more people below the poverty line who then begin smoking as a form of stress relief. It also means fewer people can afford healthcare. There is also corruption within the healthcare system, which is run by the state in one single company. This means that people are less likely to seek treatment if they suspect they might have lung cancer.
Previous intervention attempts. There have been many previous attempts to slow the spread of lung cancer throughout Montenegro. These previous attempts include heightened taxes on the purchase of cigarettes and new forms of treatment such as immunotherapy, which can be paired with other techniques like radiology. Possible solutions that we came up with. One, trying to impact the education system in order to stop the high rates of smoking before they can ever begin. Our second was conventions, maybe yearly or monthly. Third was required courses which would impact the curriculum and change it for the better. Opportunities to teach the youth population about the repercussions of smoking and lung cancer was the fifth idea, and fourth idea, and working alongside the government to impose much steeper taxes on the buying of tobacco was fifth.
Our solution is weekly in-school programs for high school students, and these are for schools with majority of lower class students, providing the education on the risk of smoking and the effects of cancer, and it offers a small scholarship for those who participate in free lung cancer screenings.
This program will be in one district in Podgorica where lung cancer rates are highest. We feel that focusing on the younger population can help break the cycle of consistent tobacco use that leads to such high cancer rates when they are older. Introducing the teenagers to the medical system through the free screening program can also help them understand it better and overcome some of their fear. Several systemic overhauls need to happen in order to greatly reduce lung cancer in Montenegro, but we feel this program is a good start with the resources we have.
So let's imagine how these sessions might look like. Here are a couple of our ideas. So imagine each week you sit and listen to a new speaker who's an expert in a different field. For example, it might be a doctor or a psychologist who is also working with the people who seeks help to quit smoking and fight over the addiction part of tobacco use. You also might hear from lung cancer survivors who contracted it through both smoking and industrial exposure. This might stimulate you to connect more to their stories and recognize the issues in your life. For example, your parents might smoke and you are forced to make a decision to either do what they did or make a decision to avoid this trap of the addiction. And lastly, as you learn more about cancer treatments and screenings from the guest speakers, you might have more trust in the healthcare system can you you are going to be able to form your own idea about how it can be improved in the future.
When looking at our budget, we decided that the cancer screenings deserves the majority of our budget, which is 25,000, and we also think that the student scholarship should get 15,000 compared to anything else, just because of how important these two are in these two factors are in lowering smoking rates and lung cancer rates in Montenegro. For the rest of the money, we put 5,000 into hiring speakers and educators, and the other 5,000 into school incentives.
After choosing to attend this program, you learn the dangers of smoking and how it contributes to lung cancer. The realization that lung cancer can severely harm or kill you settles in, and you begin to warn others that smoking is harmful. After attending all sessions, you are one of 3 people to receive a scholarship, and this benefits your future education by helping to pay for school.